usually is, so the Odyssey, I don't know if you remember this part in particular, but there's 6 that happen for a free community. There's 12 that happen for a paid, and usually a pivot is 2 to 3. And in an Odyssey, you basically go through and I will walk you through like best practices, like best of best practices that we've seen on average across all successful communities, what they did. The ones that have happened with the most amount of success, with the least amount of effort is basically what we go through. So an 80-20 sort of approach. And so you come up with like the one thing that you wanted, which we talked about before, and we walk through it. But what's changed now within the last month or so is people peer in, the rest of the people that are also going through a lot of these processes, and they can pause at any point and ask questions and things like that, which ends up making it a lot more helpful and dynamic. So the Odyssey today will be featuring you. So unfortunately, you are the guest of honor. And then, you know, you can basically just take it from here and tell me what the issues are, and then we'll walk through it together.
Awesome. I'm honored. Thank you so much. Do you want me to show you where I'm at? Because I've done a bit of work so far. Yeah. Would that help, or what's? I don't want to mess with your normal process, but
No. The process is based off of you. So I'll tell you what category we're going to jump on first, but walk me through it first, and then we'll go.
All right, cool. So just for clarity, I'll just share kind of my screen and just show exactly what I've been working on and where I've got to. So I don't know where you guys are. I'll just share my entire screen here. But for context, guys, I'm a brand designer by trade. I have been for 25 years now. 10 years ago, I started a branding studio that's still running today. 5 years ago, I started a brand of my own that's gone on to become a bit of a category leader here, a non-alcoholic beer company, close to $100 million valuation in year 5 now. I left that business a year and a half ago, but still have some equity in it and not involved in the operations. And now I'm focused on essentially bottling everything I've learned in the last decade and a bit, nearly 3 decades, and trying to figure out how I help. Essentially, my niche is freelance designers and small branding studio owners who have got mindset caps on how much they charge. Their brand strategy process is probably been Frankenstein together over time. And I've got this process that I take my clients through on our one-to-one work. It's a 6-week process. We sell it for $125,000 plus, and it's kind of foolproof. And we've just got rave reviews coming out of the other end. So I'll show you where I'm at with everything. I've given myself complete paralysis of my screen. So give me 2 seconds and I'll just show you this. All right.
Okay.
Can you guys see the Notion page on the left? And then I can't see you. I hate Google Meet, so I can't see you guys.
Yeah.
You can see both screens?
Yep.
All right, cool. So this is my audience for brand. Our product is called Brand Mastery Accelerator, which is actually, if I show you inside the classroom, the hero product is this. This is a 6-week video course. I've spent the last 2 years unpacking everything. It's literally got everything here from mindset foundation through to operations, how you run brand strategy workshops, how you design logos and brands, package them up and hand them over to a client. I also teach this live over a 6-week cohort. So I ran this in beta from Feb last year, learned a bunch of stuff. In November, we launched, we being my wife and I who run this, launched a 6-week live cohort. We had 31 members in it, $7,500 high ticket fee. Gave a couple of discounts, well, a few discounts here and there. It was the first time we'd done it, so I was kind of navigating that. So that was the pilot we wrapped on the 13th of December. Now I'm launching a new product or new cohort on the 10th of Feb. So I'm currently literally opened it yesterday, opened up applications, and my mission right now is how do I fill that up? I've got a 50-member cap. So don't want to go over that. So I think it's it feels like it's an ask. I don't have a big audience. I've got about probably just under 10,000 across. LinkedIn is my strongest, about 7,000, but I've got about 1,000 on Instagram and a couple of other things. But I've got only about a couple of hundred on email lists. So I don't have a big audience. So I'm going to point now is how do I match this community, which at the moment is amazing. And this is kind of how we run the tabs here. We've got the introduce yourself tab. We do a weekly sync, which is something I learned coming through StartMate, which is essentially Australia's version of Y Combinator. I live in Sydney, Australia. So we do a weekly sync where everyone jumps in and does their weekly sync with their priorities from last week, their priorities for the week ahead, and everyone comments and all that sort of stuff. We drop a bunch of gold nuggets here, which are really deep things. So for example, one of the best performing ones here is I got diagnosed with ADHD a few years ago. So I share my entire kind of process for that and what I went through, and like real deep stuff, and people just resonate real hard. So there's a huge sense of trust here. So this is like a real long form thing on what I've done and how it's all worked and all that sort of stuff. And then we've got kind of the leaderboard, which is nothing. This is where I need help with, really. I think the whole thing I need help with because I've fumbled this together, but I do know my audience. So this is the persona, typically unisex, 35 to 45. They've been a designer for 10 plus years. These are their pain points. These are their goals. These are their fears. This is how I feel this program can help. And these are just little things they find annoying, like what type of language they resonate with, what makes them nervous or worried, what they feel guilty about. And I've gone real deep on this stuff, so I know exactly who I'm talking to. I really need help, and kind of how do I match this to be the best place in the world for these people?
Beautiful. All right, that's fantastic. So luckily, since you've already done all of that, we can kind of skip some of those and go straight to it. I'm going to steal the screen now and jump into brand. Let me find it. Give me one moment. Okay, can you please admin me in Brand Club?
Yes. Can you tell me how to do that, please?
Yeah, you're going to go to the member section and then find me or type in Goose. And then you'll see like on the right side, there's like a little gear icon.
Gotcha.
And you can change to admin.
All right, done.
Beautiful. So let's start right here in front. Oh, I got to refresh. Okay, beautiful. Thank you. So now we're going to go here. Let's take a look at this beforehand. So I'm going to take a screenshot right now of what we're looking at. Oh, let me move this. Actually, I'll take a bigger screenshot. So we're going to look at a before and after. Right now, this looks fine. There's nothing the matter with it. But of course, as things always go, the people that are best at doing a thing for others are the worst at doing it for themselves. Yeah. So we're going to check in on a few things. And in retrospect, you'll be like, oh, yeah, duh, this totally makes sense. So we're first going to go into your settings and go into your categories here. Your intro, weekly sync, gold nuggets, ask for help. So it looks like
I think that needs some reinventing, to be honest.
Okay, yeah, it should probably just be a little bit simplified. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 categories here. 2 things. Again, I'm looking at the 80-20 here, so we're just gonna follow that for the time being, and you can repackage it as you see fit later on. So we won't get into the weeds too much. But in general, you want at the beginning an emoji that represents what you're trying to do, and you want all of these to fit on one line. School will actually release this tomorrow, I think. There's all of these in the, here, I'll show you. In the school games, is it leaderboard? Where is it? Yeah, I think it's leaderboard. Yeah, this. So you'll see tomorrow, I think we're going to update this with 10 of them. And they're all going to have an emoji at the beginning, and they're all going to be perfectly in line. This is the kind of thing that makes for a really clean, engaging image, and you'll see little spikes in activity from this. So hopefully all of that makes sense. So that being said, let's go here in your categories. We're going to do introduce yourself. Something that we could probably change from this is that, for example, what I do is I just have intros. And so one really good way of representing that is just using a hand. For example, in Captivate, in my community, you'll notice that I have chosen a middle finger for it. That's not going to be appropriate for everyone's community, but in your case, you know, you probably want to have, like, a safe bet is just a waving hand, right? And, oh, whoops, we're going to edit that. And you always want a little space right here. So you'll see pretty quickly that you just start getting a little bit more life here, and now it's all on one page. So you don't really have any, like, it's clean. It's just a clean looking thing. The reason why I'm spending so much time on this, and I often do, is because everyone gets, all the communities, the ones that make 200K a month, the ones that make nothing a month, they all have the same fucking tool, which is this. You can change the picture, you can change the description, you can change who's in here, you can change what these are, but the structure is the same. Everyone gets the exact same framework to work with. So we know that it's been tested, it's been filtered. We know that this works. right? And all that it comes down to is how you use that tool. And this tool in particular is the one snapshot that someone can get. And in one view, like if you look at Captivates, for example, in one perspective, you can look at this and kind of get an idea of what's going on in the community. It's pretty clean, and I don't have to do a whole lot of explaining. And that's what we want this kind of thing to be. Hopefully I'm not running on too far with like theory and it's making sense.
Totally making sense, dude. This is awesome. I'm super grateful for you doing this, man. Thank you.
You got it, dude. Okay, so let's do something like a circle. I'm just going to throw in some random ones. Weekly sync, gold nuggets. We can probably find some gold. Do you want a metal? What looks good? What makes you think of maybe a trophy? Ask for help. What's something good that would be in there? Feel free to shout out if you guys got any ideas. I swear I should make a course on like emoji science. It's so good.
Did we use a question mark already, or is there like a what could be a help?
Looks like just a good question. Oh yeah. Oh wait. Good point. We have an SOS. Which one do you want? The lifeguard one or the SOS? What do you think, Pete?
We can't see them on the screen share at the moment.
Oh, you can't see it. Okay, all right.
No.
All right. Well,
maybe chuck them both in and we just see.
Emojis. Yeah. Yeah, sick. Love it.
Which one do you like more between these two?
The ring, the lifeguard ring.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. All right, great.
Less offensive.
Then feedback. Any ideas? Nick always has a nice contribution.
The talking head, maybe. I don't know.
Oh.
Or a thought bubble.
Yeah, that's a good one. Thought bubble's good. Ideas.
There we go. And updates. What would be a good update symbol?
So this is updates that I would post on this channel because this is me talking about updates to the platform, to the community.
Okay, so maybe emergency. Let's do. I mean, I use this one, and you want to change it to only admins can post, anyone can view, if that's the case.
Yeah, sick. Perfect.
Okay, so there you go. So now this was the old one. This is the new one.
Makes such a difference, man.
So we're gonna change one more thing here because we are running over now with the new one. So weekly sync, ask for help.
We can shorten some of those words, like ask for help. You know, that's like.
Yeah. Let's just go ahead and do it right here. Oh, whoops, not this one.
Sweet. And then gold nuggets, you could change to something else as well. You could change that to, that's just like, what's another word for that? Like stuff you share.
I call it wins.
I think within our community, wins would be things that people have achieved, where gold nuggets are more like, hey, I found this amazing framework to do something. Here it is.
Call them nuggies.
Nuggies. Let's roll with that for now. Let's do that.
I think that's a great one.
Nuggies.
There we go. All right, so go ahead and tweak them as you please, but we have now 6 categories and they're all super clean. So I will show you. I'll save these so that we have a before and after of what that looks like. But now you should be way more guided. At any point, if you delete one of these, you can just put them all into a different one. Awesome. So just organize them by which one you think are most important. Looks like most people will see. Maybe all of these are aptly done, but you should even see these become a little bit more exciting. Right?
Sick. That's cool. That's really cool.
Great. Let's go ahead and jump over to your about page before we get to the leaderboards. I know you said that one was the main issue. If you were to summarize this, like, do you have a theme or a feeling that you're trying to have people, like if you were to put when people are in your space into like 3 emotional words, what would you call them? It doesn't have to be 3, but like what are the top ones that come to mind?
In terms of how the community would feel coming into the class?
Yeah, you come into it, how do I feel?
In fact, let me just look at my notes and I'll tell you instead of trying to make it up on the spot.
Well, I mean, it doesn't have to be, usually it's best like whatever just comes off. Like when someone comes into it, not how do they feel, what do you want them to feel?
I want them to feel, sorry, I misunderstood the question. I want them to feel like this is finally the place where they can level up their design career, because it's crazy. Everyone comes in going, I can't raise my prices. I just had a girl named Sophie come in. She's run a studio for 4 years, never charged more than $5,000, followed my process. On week 5, closed an 18.5 grand client, changed her life, blah, blah, blah. That's just happening over and over again. So I want people to come in knowing that, like, the thing I want this to be like, Fight Club is the inspiration for this. This is like the secret club that nobody can get into.
Okay.
So that's
So
where it's at.
emotion, safe.
Safe. Yeah. Perfect.
Okay. Give me another emotion.
Like, what's the word? It's like an exclusive place. So you're in, you feel like you're part
Special.
of it. Included maybe. Belonging.
Ooh, belonging. That's a good one.
Great one, dude.
Yeah. Okay. And anything else?
First rodeo.
Give me one more.
Like, really excited because the testimonials of the before and afters are legitimately insane. So, yeah.
Great. I love that. So I would write those 3 things down and use that as your guiding, just those 3 emotions as your guiding tool for when you're wondering this or that as you're going through this process. So I'll keep going through it with you. But right now we have a couple of things that we can change in order to get there. This right here, an exclusive private community of designers helping each other build world-class brands, access through Brand Master Accelerator only. First of all, this is something that you want to put in your about section, so it should not be up here. So, yeah, so you already talk about it here, so we don't have to say it twice. So let's go ahead and, this is already better, it's 3 lines. Exclusive and private are kind of the same thing, so we're going to say exclusive community of designers. And let's get a little artboard there. Oops, got my caps on. I would say something like the world's best designers helping each other build world-class brands.
Dude, have you done this before?
Time or 10. All right, so this is still a little bit verbose, but it's better. Really the best, and I'll give you an example here, but you can decide whether or not to use it because yours is more creative by its nature. But for example, most of the time, someone who's new on the offer, I would say do the regular approach, which is earn, like, health, wealth, or relationship. So let's say you pick the money category, earn 5K per month or like 3x your income by learning the secrets of world-class design. Something like that. So this is much more buyable. And here you could still have your little, art emoji. And you could say, 10K a month, or you could say 3x your income by learning this. So the reason why I'm giving you this other example is because this speaks to your audience once you have them. Once someone has a relationship with you, they're like, okay, I get that. But most people will never understand that if they don't know who you are pretty intimately. But they will understand this. This makes a lot of sense. One of the big cornerstones you always have to remember is that you have to sell what they want and you give them what they need. What they want is this, to 3 times their income, for example. But what they need is just to learn to become a good designer. But people don't buy that. So that's why we spend so much time on this. So looking at these 2 things, which of the 2 would you like to keep for the time being?
I love the bottom one. I'm not answering your question. My only concern is the audience for this is like sophisticated designers that are already established. It's not beginners so I guess they still have the same problem, but does it feel, I don't know. I'm just thinking out loud. So I'm not making sense when the words come out of my mouth.
Well, that was why, because usually it's a good point. So let's go through it. 5K a month is, you're talking to beginners most of the time. But when you're imagining, a multiplier affects a lot of different people. Someone who's making $1 million is perfectly fine tripling that. Same for someone who's making 1,000. So you get more into that category. But in general, across the board, what I can tell you, and the reason why I use this without asking more questions or getting into the details of what you're doing is because this works best when it has nothing to do with you, as just a market staple. Saying
in that case, what could work, because this is kind of part of the premise when I get on a discovery call, is charging late 5-figure to 6 figures per branding project. So like, 70, 90K, 120K, which for the designers coming into this currently charge 5, 10, 15, 20 grand for a branding project. They're fishing in the wrong pond. They're talking to the wrong types of prospects. I come in, show them how to niche, show them my entire process. They go and charge, this girl, Sophie, like I said, 5 grand to 18 grand, 5 grand for 4 years and now charging 18 grand on week 5 of the program. So there's that kind of thing. Become a 6-figure brand. Perfect.
All right. And then without what is the thing that they usually have to sacrifice that they don't have to sacrifice with you?
The 25 years it's taken me to figure this shit out.
Great. Okay. Without the trial and error, for example, right? So you can go ahead and tighten that up, but go ahead and decide if you want, without the time commitment, time investment, whatever that is. So you can do that whenever you see fit, but you should be able to see here where we're going with this. This is much clearer than this, which isn't bad. This isn't bad, but this doesn't create sales like this does.
Yeah, I love it. Get rid of the top one, keep the bottom one. Let's rock and roll.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, and we're going to do one other thing here. Brain clone. Okay.
Awesome.
Now, at any point, anything you take from that spot, you can always add down here. Brand Club, exclusive community. Oh, Brennan is. I'll do it this way. Brand Club is of the world's best designers helping each other build world-class brands. This one, do you want to keep this? We certainly can.
I'm happy to take your advice, dude.
The be happy part is a little, I think what we would do most likely is say something like world-class brands while working less. Maybe if that's your pitch. It seems like it could have more teeth.
Cool.
Yeah.
Love it.
And then, okay. So we're going to do the art thing again for now.
Hey, quick question.
Yeah.
If I've got a early 20-year-old junior designer who could come into this program and completely change their lives, but they read the world's best designers and they feel this is a little bit out of my league and I'm not, full imposter syndrome, like I'm not good enough for this. Do you think that's a potential turnaway?
So the client is feeling this?
Yeah, I'm just thinking like when you say, like think about it, like the audience is kind of like established designers who are trying to like level up.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if they consider themselves the world's best designers. And it might be a little bit alienating for them, think, well, I'm not good enough to be in there. Because that's actually happened. We had this girl, Kat, come in. She was like, oh my God, I'm out of my league. Everyone's so far ahead of me. And by week 3, she was like, I've learned so much. This has changed my whole life. Like I'm charging way more. So I'm just worried that the world's best designers, because if literally one of the world's best designers came along, they could quite easily challenge that.
You could say the world's best design strategies. Best design marketing strategies.
I'll play that. That's not. We're absolutely not marketing at all. It's brand and marketing are kissing cousins, but sure. they're often confused. But
you see what I'm saying.
Yeah, I know what you're going. Yeah, awesome.
If you pivot the direction slightly, you can probably dodge it if you feel like it's an issue.
Yeah, cool. Okay.
But ideally, what's happening is people see this around the time that you're on a call with them, and that you would, let's say you got the opportunity to talk to this person. The simplest way, because we hear this a lot as well, is you would hear, well, actually, just about everyone does. They're like, well, I struggle with this. Why am I qualified to teach it? And it's actually because you struggle with it that you're qualified to teach it.
Yeah.
Those that struggle with the most spend the most amount of time on it and are usually the most clear-headed when looking at their problems from not their position.
Got it.
And helping others, not helping themselves. So if you can manage to include something like that, and you can replace this with anything. If you want, we can get into it and like hash that out so you feel solid.
No, I can take that. I just I think I just need to workshop that for a little bit and kind of wordsmith it. But
yeah, the two big ones are, what is the pitch? Here you have to decide, this is solid. The 6-figure brand designer, you have to figure out what is the number one thing that those people, and you'll just have to look at that sheet because you have like all this information. So this is where it culminates all into like one little nugget.
Yeah, perfect.
Put that nugget there, biggest pain point. Not necessarily all of them, just one. Cool. And then you would basically apply that same thing here with the description of the group.
Cool.
Then access to brand club is only via accelerator.
Do you think this is a confusion problem, anyone? So just to call it out, like the Brand Mastery Accelerator is the 6-week live cohort that I sell. That's the high ticket offer. What you get of that, off the back of that, is when it ends, or the whole time for the next 12 months, you get access into Brand Club, which is the community element that houses the Brand Mastery Accelerator course. So I guess this was based off, I did WeTube a few years ago. It was based off that, and then it kind of evolved into this. But more I think about WeTube, it's like WeTube is the name of the group and the course and everything. There's no confusion. But what I've done is gone, this is the accelerator program that's high ticket, and then there's this thing called Brand Club, which is like Fight Club, where super secretive, everyone's sharing the best shit that you can't get anywhere else, and you can't get in there without coming through the program, the accelerator.
Yeah, totally. It is confusing. Probably most people would agree to that. Let's say someone here was trying to get onto doing a some sort of brand club thing, but then you have to go through Brand Mastery Accelerator. Just the fact that it's called two different things just leaves room for confusion, which is all the reason you should have to change it. I would change either the name of Brand Club or the Mastery Accelerator. It would make sense though for you to call it the Brand Club Accelerator. That could make a lot of sense.
Okay.
Yeah, so this would be my recommendation. Is it a hold fast and true strategy? Like you have to listen to what I just said? Not necessarily. These are just, remember, all 80-20 points. Most people that have two different named things that you have to do outside of this don't succeed. Because you want single CTA, clear direction. Otherwise, at the first sign of confusion, your clients are just going to drop off and disappear. Got it. Okay, clear. Cool. All right, so on that note, let's go ahead and clean this up. Access to Brand Club is only via Brand Mastery Accelerator. We don't need to know what that is unless, are you trying to send them to this? No, I sell this. This is so confusing. Man, let me rework this whole thing. I need to sit with this for a little bit because the more that I look at it with kind of fresh eyes with you guys, as opposed to being so in it for the last 2 years building it out. I can give you my recommendation. I'm going to screenshot this right now. But what I would do is just trash this. And then I would say, get rid of this thing and say, you may apply to join here. They don't need to know what any of these other things are, just that they can apply to join here. Single CTA. In this case, though, you still have double CTA because you're trying to sell them on this community at the same time as this, unless they buy that, therefore you give them access to this. Well, that's the thing. I'm not selling Brand Club at all. Like only here, like everything out on socials, everything is Brand Mastery Accelerator branded, the VSL, everything else. Yeah. This is kind of like when they're getting the discovery call, it's like, oh, by the way, there's a thing called Brand Club that's like amazing. And people are like, holy shit, this is incredible. I never knew about that. Do you know what I mean? So I'm just wondering if the strategy is keep this in the back pocket as the, hey, by the way, like, and, you know, the value stack at the end. There's also this community and check all these shit that's going on because people are crazy, as opposed to selling the Brand Mastery Accelerator as the community and the course. Yeah. Okay. So I can tell you another 80-20 snippet here. Usually when you're talking about community, at least for now, most people don't buy that. They are interested in buying the course, which you can package in a community, and the community is why they stay, because remember, you sell them what they want and you give them what they need, right? And so in this case, they need a community. In fact, most of the time that's the answer, but what they don't want that usually. They want that course, but most people won't finish it. It's just the lowest hanging fruit that you can do. You can buy a course and be like, oh, I'm going to solve my problems. It's going to be fucking great. And then they go to bed. This is how you take them past that.
Okay. So I'm just taking notes.
Perfect. And then this is a bit formal, but if you want to have that, like I didn't sense that kind of formality necessarily in those emotions that you're talking about. So, and electric brands, again, another thing. I don't know if that's...
Yeah, that's my studio that does the done for you one-to-one work.
Yeah, so I would just keep it like this, because it's a community. You want to be informal. If you can put in like a penis joke or something like that and everyone laughs, great. That's community. That's when you know that you're having a good time and people are going to stick around.
Awesome.
Cool. All right. How's that feel?
Yeah, it feels great. Lock and load. Thank you.
Yeah, you're very welcome. It should always feel good when things are a little bit clean. One other thing, I'm going to rotate these for everyone here. The way that this works is you already have your image up here. You don't need it a second time. You could go as far as deleting it really, but you want to have, and this is way too fucking long. I would make a nice short, like, here's who I am, here's what we do, look forward to seeing you, something like that. Again, nice and simple, clean CTA. No one's going to watch 20 minutes on like a curiosity sort of thing.
Do you think, I've just read that this was for the previous cohort. I've just literally yesterday launched a new VSL that's 10 minutes long. It goes into detail on exactly what's in this thing.
Yep.
Think it's worth having that in, or do you think it's like it needs to be a way shorter?
No, way shorter. Again, you're selling what they want, get what they need. What anyone wants to buy is that something is easy, fast, or low risk. And if this is not communicating that, I mean, if you're immediately losing them on the fast part, then they're just going to walk away. So you need your job is to challenge yourself for a 1 to 2 minute max video.
Okay.
That is the intro in. Here's what you get. It's going to be a ton of fun. There's no risk. It's easy. It's fun, whatever. And then they get in. And then you can have those kinds of things. You can say, here's in this classroom, we go over the details of this, that, and the other thing. Again, shorter videos usually work because the information is all out there. There's probably nothing that you're teaching, that any of us are teaching, that isn't findable on Google. It's just, you got to sift through a bunch of shit.
Yeah.
So your job, our job, is to organize it so that it's packaged in a digestible way. That's our only job. Otherwise, we're not really doing that. And that's kind of the problem, is when you're learning to coach, one of the first things you'll do is like, I'm going to make the best fucking course no one's ever seen something like this.
Got it.
Ironically enough, it's those courses that make the least amount of impact because it's just not digestible.
Okay. Done.
So same thing here.
Goose, I had one question on that. I was looking at that video, the 19-minute video while y'all were talking.
Yep.
He had a couple of testimonials, or at least success stories. Should he put those in there? Or
Yes.
maybe a separate video?
Yes, exactly. A separate video of just testimonials, or like a scroll wheel of a testimonial wall, nice and clean. So that means I can just go in there and be like, oh, he's got legitimate candidates. He's had a history. Oh, it's a nice short video. Okay, maybe I'll watch 30 seconds of it. And if it's good, I might finish it, right? And that's how you want to have it be, like really, really, like, it's so easy for me to consume. I can't say no.
What else should you add there on those image tabs at the bottom? Or you always got the main video. You mentioned the testimonials as the next page.
Yeah.
What else can you put in there to create credibility and stuff like that?
So let me give you an example here. I mean, this isn't a perfect example because I just kind of like hobbled together a couple of replacements, but a nice short VSL is always number one, the most highest ROI thing you can create, especially if it looks like someone actually fucking cared. If you're making a Loom video, you may as well not do it at all. It's better to just have a still image. No one wants to see that shit. And again, we're talking about 80-20 here. So 80-20. Which is significant because that means that the amount of time it would take to do a VSL, and I think I'm probably going to teach that this month, is run through what it would look like to have VSL. Because again, we kind of overthink that process, but it should be very simple. Like this VSL that I made here, which is possibly the most watched on the platform, it took me 1 day to shoot and 2 days to edit. It was very, very short. I scripted it in like an hour in the morning and then just like had my girlfriend at the time shoot the thing. And it was a lot of fun. And I was like coming up with ideas as I was doing it. It wasn't like a full bodied process. You know, maybe it's easier for creatives rather than others, but this is the number one greatest, most important thing. I say it all the time and people fucking ignore me. So that's why I've spent so much time on this. The second part, something that represents what you're doing in your community, like emotionally. So I elected to do something stupid, like a bunch of different pictures of me, because a lot of times people are coming in because they want to talk to me, and that's perfectly fine. So why not make a mockery of that? Because actually, Sam talks about this a lot. It's quite like the art of standing out, especially within your niche, is to zig when they zag. And so most of the time, people are throwing up all of their qualifiers and why they're so significant and why they're so special. For me, I see that a lot. So I wanted to just do something else. So why not just have a ton of me with no explanation why it's significant? And that, because the environment in there is kind of fun and stupid and playful, this totally fits.
Works,
and
yeah.
then we're talking about like, sorry?
I said it works. Sorry, I'm just thinking out loud.
Yeah, you're good. And also, you'll notice that these are like really shitty Photoshop jobs, and that's intentional because you want it to look like relatable. Again, this is for my brand within Captivate, which is very much like more shoot from the hip, and it's kind of everything's natural, and we're all kind of being ourselves. But you're still taking this business element. Like a long time ago, when I was first starting, I'd probably be like, "You get this, 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 and this, and you can live on an island." No, you just say, "Hey, this will be you. This could be you," right? And that's it. And that's how simple these kinds of things can be. This one is probably a bad example, but there's if you're going to do anything else, there should be testimonials, and that's what this will be replaced with. Exactly what you were talking about, Rice. Is that helpful?
Super. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Let me see if I can find another example here. Ryan Strope has a good one. Maybe it's, yeah, let's see. Let's look at his paid one. Yeah, so he's got, this is a very well put together one. Again, this is like an example of the opposite of what I do, where you've got a long video. Again, he already has an existing market, so they sort of know exactly what they're doing, but this is not what I recommend, a long one like that. But this makes a lot of sense. Welcome to Fundrise. Here's the, we've all seen this before on like single page landing pages and all of these. So these also work. But here we are right at the end, testimonials.
I think I'm still looking at the
Fundrise.
Oh
page,
shit.
so I can just see the free and date there.
Fuck, it opened in a new window. Hold on, let me share. Thanks for waiting for me to go through the whole thing, you weenies. Let me pull it up.
I'm just
here.
glad you didn't share one of those dodgy windows you got open. One of those dodgy
Yeah, no, I put them on the other slide. But
Epic. Good man.
it's good stuff though. I'll have to give you guys a link. Let me share the screen here. Okay, can you see my screen?
No. Yes.
That's coming up.
Yep.
Now it's good?
Yeah.
Sweet. All right. So we're gonna go here into, so here's Funwise. It opens up. His is a more traditional corporate example. They're doing real estate stuff. So you have a really long VSL, which I usually do not recommend. The Welcome to Funwise. Then you've got, you know, a little bit of here's what's in the community. These sorts of packages we've seen a million times, right, on single landing pages, and then testimonials. Let me find another example I really like. This is AI Jack. Let's look at his about. So his is 4 minutes. There we go. This is a much better example. Here's a bunch of wins that they had. Here's hangouts that they do. In fact, I think when I was hanging out with Jack, we hung out with a bunch of his members from the community that came to have dinner with us. Here, this is great. This one's so good. It is one thing, one win. In fact, I'd say that's more powerful than this in a lot of ways, because you're just featuring one very clean, digestible thing. Again, digestible is like the #1 feature here. This is a classroom. This community, so it's like trickled in testimonials.
Sick.
Okay, so let's get back to okay, now we're back in here, back to the about page. So short VSL, replace this image with something that gives you a feeling of what the space is like or about you. Then you'd have something that had to do with your process, then testimonials, and have as many or a few of those as you want. But don't overwhelm with, if you're going to have videos, you could have probably two, one that's your VSL and one that's your testimonials, and then everything else should likely be pictures. So if you've done it in the perfect 80-20 way that we've seen, it would be like 4 pictures, 2 videos, you're done.
Okay, cool, done. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so how are you feeling about this?
I'm feeling good. I'm gonna rework this whole thing. I've got to. I'm so excited, dude. This is epic. Thank you.
Yeah, badass. I'm glad to hear it. Okay, and you've got the start here section. Let me change something here. So in your, what would it be? Where's that thing? Categories and
Is
rules?
it links down the bottom you're looking for?
Oh, yep, exactly. Nick, you are on it all the time. Oh, it's private. Oh, I can just see it. Okay. Yeah. All right. So I just want to make sure these were private here. So yeah, the start here is good, and you don't have it pinned, which is good. You should still have pins. So for example, this was from a day ago. My recommendation, I had to talk with Jonathan about this a lot too. This should really be a wall to feature your people and what they're doing. So I will usually drop in once in a while and just feature them. And try and remove yourself, unless there's something that just was announced that day that you're doing. I would just feature them. And then every now and then, like here, today's a big deal. Great. That one I would put here at the top, which you can move these.
Cool.
So pins are super, super useful for that. Then tomorrow, take these down and replace them with the next ones.
Cool.
All right.
Awesome.
So that's your start here should always be, okay, let me show you an example here. It's good that you have just one. A lot of people will often say, hey, it's a bit long here. I mean, this one might be a bit long. Maybe you'd break it into 2, but this is great. You're already doing better than most with this page. Again, it depends on your brand in this case, but emojis, you'd be surprised how much they help attract the attention of eyes. So you will get way more clicks on these if you have, for example, a book. Bam, there's a stack of books. It has nothing to do necessarily with brands, but now this is just more aesthetically pleasing. I want to click on it.
Awesome.
All right. Oh, do we have a question in there? Sorry, stop me if there's a question anywhere. Oh, can't hear you. Karzan, that's you? Your mic's off.
Yes, Goose, and good evening, everybody. Sorry, this is my first call, so apologies.
Same.
Getting up to speed with the etiquette on these Odysseys.
Fucking scream.
I just had a I was trying to jot down some notes, and it was just moving way too quick. It was just back on the homepage where you said like first one should be VSL. A good thing is an easy digestible testimonial, and then the 4 pictures 2 video combination that you were suggesting.
Mm-hmm.
I just wanted to recap because I think I could definitely tweak a few things on
Sure.
my homepage.
Yeah. So basically what you're showing, you have your VSL, you have your testimonials, both of those should be videos, and then everything else there is supplemental. So the photos should either support work that you've done or what you do, which is the testimonial or the VSL. And then anything that, I mean, this part's really up to you. This is part of the more creative process. Those pictures, the 3 or 4, whatever is permitted after those 2 videos, which by the way, testimonial should be at the end, VSL at the beginning, sandwiched with sandwiching all the images. The images, anything that's not supporting those 2 directly should just be communicating the culture or the emotion of the community. For example, the one where it's like, meet your instructors, and it's just a bunch of me. You don't really get anything out of that, but people fucking love it because it tells you a little bit about what's going on, and because it's so different than usually what you'll come across with a fucking business community. So it depends on how you want to stand out or be represented or brace people to meet your culture. Was that clearer?
Yeah, that's perfect. Thank you. Yeah, definitely.
Great question. So let me jump back over here to first page. So I'm going to make a change here. This one's really, I'm sort of bouncing around since a lot of this is built out, but let's say we go to the start here section. What I would recommend doing is pinning this to a course page. So for example, we go in here in your classroom. This is a lot to like digest. So you better hope someone's ready to go through it, even though it is much better than most. Your best approach is usually, we'll assume that people are already on school that you're bringing in. I know that's probably not the case, but if they're coming onto school for the first time, like with any platform, it's easier with school, but you still might want like a section that says, hey, here's how you do this, then this, then this, the basics. Here's what happens in the community. Here's what happens in the classroom, calendar, members, something like that. But if you're going like bare bones minimum, you would say like, welcome. And we'll put another little waving hand. And we'll save that, and then we're going to go into community, and we're going to go to the start here. It's good that you don't have this pinned. A lot of people make that mistake. Welcome. Great. So now it's pinned here. So you can go into this section and be like, please make first. Please take a moment to introduce yourself and polls to rest. Something like this. Oops. Great. And then now you have somewhere for them to go. So now you have like a clear, easy CTA that's complete, that should be largely passive, and they can click on this and then take these steps, which might be a little bit long in the tooth, but you get the idea. And then this one, I don't know what does this go through? What does this say? Oh, Peter, I can't hear you, Pete.
So I was muting myself because my dog's snoring behind me on the couch here. That video is about 12 minutes long, and it literally, I talk about, I screen share everything. So I explain all the tabs, I explain how the classroom works, I explain how the community works, all that sort of stuff. Okay. So pretty deep dive in all that. So great. So you've already started doing some of what I was talking about. So what would be helpful if you wanted to, is to break this out over a few more tabs. Okay. And that would be more easier to digest because I'm more willing to take 1 minute video, like 10 1-minute videos, than I am to one 10-minute video. Does that make sense? Yes, definitely. Yeah. You want to make this so easy to take them through their activation points. Do you know that term, activation points? Yeah. Okay, so you want it to be so easy for them to go through that. Sorry, for anyone who doesn't know what that is, an activation point is when someone has a significant win that you're able to reproduce or recreate for people every time they come in. Usually it's part of an onboarding process or part of like what makes your community sticky, but having activation points that like you've had beta clients, you've run through them, you're like, oh, here's a really easy win that I can give someone day one. This is how you get people to like buy into what you're doing. Yeah, if you can break out not necessarily the activation points, but like a little bit of like, here's the community, here's the classroom, here's the calendar, you're good. That would be very cool. Now, let me go back to where we were. When we have introduce yourself, I guess. Oh, it looks like this is the introduce yourself one, but no one can find it. Introduce yourself. Yeah, so the quick start is literally like a run through of the whole thing because it's pretty in depth. Like, so that's what that quick start video is, and then it goes, once you've watched that, then you introduce yourself, and then the first thing you do is post a weekly sync. So okay, so I'll just put this up here just so you can go through and decide how you want to do it. Yeah. Generally, you want the welcome to include the introduce yourself. Okay. Yeah, okay. And you just have to decide. And I haven't seen enough data one way or the other. You would probably do it. I would probably recommend you doing it the way that I'm doing it because your strategy is similar, where you're touching each person on the way in, which I think is what everyone should likely do. And if you can't do that, then you're growing too fast, right? And that would be to have them make their own post. The other option is to have them make a comment on your post
And that's good for passive, but it doesn't really make a really good connection. So I would recommend doing that in like free communities. In paid communities, make them make their own posts so that everyone can kind of like chime in and get excited with them.
Awesome. Got it. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. So now that we have that, I would strongly recommend killing one or both of these links. Because this isn't necessarily where you want people to
be hanging out, clicking
yeah,
around.
really. I mean, this is always here. So what this should really be is like a link to your website, for example, because as we found out from a member within actually Captivate, was that he was saying that if you put your website link here, you get crazy fucking SEO because school is very powerful, and all of a sudden you're like intricately it connects as a main link.
So for someone like me, and I'm under the guidance or have been of Jonathan Courtney, and his strategy has been very much what were we talking about? It just completely jumped out of my brain. What were you saying? Sorry, I just confused myself thinking ahead of where I was speaking.
No, you're totally good. Well, sorry, where'd you get lost?
I got lost in what I was about to tell you because I forgot what you were just talking about because I was way ahead of my mind.
Yeah.
Hello, ADHD.
It means you're excited, man. This is great. All I was saying was that the intention behind these are being misused.
Got it. So when you mentioned having the website there, I guess my strategy at the moment through Jonathan has been that my website is our branding studio, which is one-to-one work, which truth be told, I'm trying to move away from to focus on the community and the mastermind, which is this. Mm-hmm. So all of my call to actions, all of my socials are to a VSL, which is to sell the Brand Mastery Accelerator, which is Brand Club we've just been through. Should that website be to the VSL that's going to get them back into this, or should it be to my website, which I'm really, I've gone from like $75,000 up to, under Jonathan's guidance, just put it at a $200K price point. I'm still getting inquiries coming into work with me one-on-one, but I'm turning it away because I'm trying to focus fully on building this community out.
Yeah.
What should that website be?
Well,
because I guess the studio shows prospects coming in, hey, this guy does run a studio and this is his work and this is what he does.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm not trying to sell that work. I'm trying to sell the program.
Yeah. So you, it depends on your goals very much. Well, exclusively, because you can benefit greatly by having your website there on SEO. Does it mean you should have your website? No, not necessarily. You already have them captured in the community, which is where you want them really. So oftentimes what you would have for them here would be like a high ticket upsell. And that would be like, hey, here I will teach you how to be me, how to think like me, how to do what I do. And that could also create some kind of like big brother, big sister system within your community where they're now teaching. And that's what makes a network model versus a guru model, which we talk about quite a bit. You've heard of this before, right?
I haven't.
So even though it's really good to build a community individually and touch each individual person on their way in and while they're in, stuff like that, it's not necessarily scalable. It's just a great way to get the relationship going. So that's how you start it. That's not how you run it. If you are the only contact with these people and that gets severed, well, then they're probably not going to be in the community. However, if you bring them in and you start getting everyone in the community to become buddies, now they're there for each other. And it means that they have more than one connection.
Got it.
Yeah. So that's really where your biggest opportunity is here, is an upsell to teach them to do that or to buy whatever your thing is so they can get there faster, easier, lower risk. And then if you have like an affiliate thing for a program or like a SaaS service, something that helps them in their journey.
So you're suggesting getting rid of the start here?
Yeah, I wouldn't put that there.
So how would they, if someone, because majority of my audience won't be on school. They're kind of like in the design world, just kind of designing. So they would come into this going, what the fuck is this? Where do I start? What do I do?
Yeah, what I would do is make this really bold that says start here with like a rocket emoji or something. And when you're onboarding people, let them know there's going to be several tabs at the top. In Classroom, go to the first classroom and it'll tell you how to start here.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah. So you want you want your handoff to be all the way there. Now, if you literally don't have a purpose for these three links, yeah, sure, fuck it. You may as well put it in there. But they're so powerful that you should probably be using them for higher ROI things. And if the way you address like these 2 is by just saying, go to the first module in the classroom. Well, then, you might want to.
Sweet. Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Yep. Solid. Okay. Post weekly sync. Yeah. Yeah, I would definitely do that. In fact, weekly sync should almost be one of these things that's up here.
Those are all the video courses.
Yeah, I get that. But you could make one that's called weekly sync. Right? Because they shouldn't just be courses. And if you're doing that, they're probably not being used all the way. Like, let's say, just for example, and feel free to delete this, of course, but like, let's say we made this, and now at level 2, this gets unlocked, or level 3, like part of your onboarding process is like, make a post, and you'll get access to the weekly sync information, which can get them engaged. And now you're starting to connect a few things that on its face had one function and now becomes more fun, more playful, more enticing to use. And now I want to use weekly sync because I had to get it. It wasn't just like
Got it. So you'd gamify that in the leaderboard bit? You'd have to kind of
yeah, absolutely. In fact, I just overhauled ours. Check this out. In the leaderboard, you literally win something at every single category. And they don't have to be huge, but the fact that you have to unlock those things makes it significant. And I have the annual tied into the level 9 thing. I just put that up today, so I'll have all the things that only level 9 or annual members get, and you just unlock it down here.
Sick.
Yeah.
But then so my brain's just confused because the weekly sync, what it is people like literally hold themselves accountable by posting their weekly sync. So the instruction is every Sunday, sit down for half an hour, plan the week ahead. What's your weekly sync looking like? And it's 3 things: what I achieved last week, what I'm planning this week. There's no video. So how would that work? Where would they post in the classroom as opposed to like it just being a tab?
Well, in the tab, it would tell you the rules. So you could do it a couple different ways. The first one would be, you could have in here, hey, you have to have weekly sync buddies, right? And so you unlock the buddy system. This is something that I gave Jonathan before they did their new launch. They unlock the buddy system by doing this here and getting the formula for what they need to do. I mean, even though they could do it on their own, this is kind of part of the process that makes it feel earned and fun and gamified. You could also have something, and again, these are just sort of like creative ideas I'm bouncing around, but you could have it that it literally just says, this is how you get the most out of a weekly sync. So anyone could engage with it prior to level 3 or 2, but now you know what your goal is, right? And that's like, oh, I didn't realize this was the reason why I was doing it. And it doesn't have to be very robust at all. In fact, like if we go here in the classroom, one of the most popular things that we have, which was just on a whim, I did this. I just use my Canva templates that I made for everything, and people fucking love it. And this is one of our members told us how to type in Pokemon in Japanese. And so that's one of the tabs in there, right? It's super random, but these are fun and they're engaging. And actually, as soon as these went up, people started using the shit out of them. And so now you see these templates show up all over the place because now they don't have to go through the like, well, what about this or what about that? It's just there for them.
Awesome. So the video you'd unlock would be explaining what the weekly sync is. Then could you unlock a tab? Like, because that's what the weekly sync is. It's people going, hey, last week I failed or succeeded on these 3 things, and this week I'm planning to do these 3 things. And then we just comment to keep each other accountable. That's what the weekly sync is. So is there a way to make that tab, like unlock that once you get to that level? So
there is not. We don't have a function for that currently. However, most people would get lost without having this module, even though it's simple and they can see others there. They can engage with other people, but until they've unlocked that thing, like the Rainbow Blitz is a good example. So let me use this as an example. In the classroom, or let's go here. Let's see, where is it? There's Nick with Team Baywatch. Fucking love that. Where is the Alicia? I think Alicia made it here. Oh yeah, here we go. So it was a post about going ahead and setting up teams, and not everybody is at the level that they've unlocked this classroom, which talks about Blitz. But once you do, it has what it is, how it works, team structure, how to get started. And maybe yours is simpler and it only has a couple of steps. But the fact that you just have it framed here means that people can engage and then just capitalize on it better once they've unlocked it. Now, we're really dialing in quite close on, you know, some of the details of it. But the real takeaway here is more that there should be more than just classes in your classroom.
Okay.
So, you know, we can come back around now to where we were here. You know, this was one of the big things you wanted to do. And a lot of times you kind of already know, it's just having the permission to do it. So for example, with noob, right, you could say like, this is, we'll put in a baby bottle. Great. This looks awesome. Rookie. I don't know, maybe like a cookie. All right. Crayon senior, graduate, things like this. And now all of a sudden this just looks like I'm slightly more interested in trying to participate in whatever this shit is that's going on. Then when you go to classroom, let's say weekly sync is public. You're going to say, okay, let's say it's, let me explain a couple things here. The reason why I chose 3 is because by the data, the number of people that stay engaged in your community increases almost double when they reach level 3. And level 3 is only 20 points. So if you make that the goal so that you can unlock this thing, it sort of satisfies the chase or the desire that someone has to get to that level. So that's something to keep in mind. Now, something else you can do is, you know, we're going to put here that it unlocks at level 3. So now in leaderboards, weekly sync shows up. Oh, you get that at level 3. That's pretty cool.
That is super cool. But the problem in my mind is still that the weekly sync tab is still there and anyone can see it and comment on it. So this isn't really an unlock because they're just going to do what they can see everyone's doing already. Do you know what I mean? So maybe it's a bad example that I've provided you as the weekly sync being the thing. I love where you're going with it. I just don't know if this is the thing. I wish it was, but I wish I could lock that tab. I wish I could lock that tab so that no one could use that until they unlocked it and then unlock the tab.
Well, but in a way, so let's say we do go with this. So we'll take it one step deeper because this is really important, actually. Let's say we go one step deeper and we're like, okay, we're going to make this work and it's going to be its own thing. The reason why you can do it is because why you can make it an unlock is even though everyone can talk about it, there's always more information behind it. And you can literally say, hey, if you want to do weekly syncs, go ahead. You can participate in all of them now. However, if you want to know why the tool exists and how you can use it to make the most out of it, you got to unlock number 3. Okay. And that's what tells you how you can do those things. So there's always ways you can play with it. In fact, most people, so I would check, you know, how your thought process is with that, because it's not bad that it's rigid, but there are a surprising number of classrooms on the platform that get people to ascend in levels, even though they already have access to it. They just got access to another part of it.
Okay. Yeah, it's that dopamine hit, isn't it?
There's just something about it. You can't look through it through your lens. It has to be looked at through the lens of who your avatar is.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah. So do you want to finish this off? We'll just do it real quick.
Man, I'd love you to. Yeah, if you have the time, yeah, we great.
Okay. So, all right, Marlon Brando. When I think of Marlon Brando, I think of him riding a horse. What do you think of?
Gun. Or a gun.
Or a gun, yeah. Will that offend anybody in your
I hope not.
How about a water
horse
gun?
works well.
Horse
You might be
well?
riding a horse, or it might be a horse's head in the bed.
Great. Love it. Brand architect. Let's say that's a building. Or some bricks. Master Flash. Oh, I think I know what I want here. What do you guys think? I was thinking like a lightning bolt.
There we go.
Ooh. All right, we'll just do it that way. Brand Ninja. I'm thinking a watermelon. What do you guys think?
That's not a watermelon.
That's the joke. Okay, no light. Jedi. What would be a good Jedi emoji?
Star Wars.
That one. Oh, I love that. Yeah, I know. Do they have lightsaber? They don't, right? Am I crazy?
We've got another Star Wars reference in the next level, guys. So start prepping your brains for the next.
Yeah, this is gonna be. I took a peek at like.
Like, what have I got myself into?
Because whatever it is has to be greater than star. Do we have anything? Feel free to shout at me if there's something.
Put like some type space. It'll be like a planet or something. There you go. Something like that.
I like these. Brand
Yeah.
Jedi. So what? Oh, dude, I should totally make an emoji masterclass. That shit would be so much fun. We could do a moon and a star. What do you think? What's greater than star?
The planet. I reckon that star that's spinning around next to the big star on the one more left, the other left.
Oh, this one. Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's go.
So
That'll
Brand
do.
Jedi and then Obi-Wan. This one.
Let's do it.
All right. Are we sure we don't want Anakin?
Let's stay with Obi-Wan for sure.
I'm just fucking with you. All right, cool. That looks pretty good.
Looks epic.
Yeah, I'm really into that. And so now
Yeah,
that you have those levels, you have a little bit more reason to come to your classroom and be like, I don't know, maybe people unlock the weekly vault calls at level 2. You know?
That's
What?
cool.
Yeah. And so now we go to leaderboards again. Wow, look at that. I'm already starting to get hyped. In fact, this is weekly call vault, right? And you could almost go as far as like what a lesson in branding, right? You literally don't need to have things that are related in order to get the importance and relation of them, right? You can choose to play with it or leave it. Like these don't match, for example, so you could make one, you can change one so that they do match, so there's like a coordination with everything, but these are the things that you can play with.
Cool. Awesome.
Sweet. What do you think here? Which one do you like more?
In terms of having emoji in the top line or the bottom line or the second line?
Yeah.
I reckon keep on the like the level line, level 1.
Make this level 1?
No, as in like, are you asking me to keep one emoji as I choose to like the level emoji or the unlock emoji?
Yeah, do you like the hat or the ring?
Oh yeah, right. Yeah, the ring, I guess.
Okay, great. So it doesn't necessarily match brand senior in this case, but you know, you're seeing what we're.
Yeah, cool. I can match that. Yeah, I'll put some thought into that. I get where you're going with it.
Yeah. You know, these things, again, they may seem frivolous, and yet it's what makes the difference between communities that really fucking crush it and don't.
So match, I got it.
Yeah. Now you don't necessarily have to, but again, 80-20, yeah, if you can have those things match, it's so easy to understand that you just can't miss it.
Awesome. And
that's what you want. So great. Now you have like a pretty clean format for everything from about page. This looks good. The whole feel of your community based on your categories feel a lot better. This is clean. This just being here constantly reminding people is really powerful. And then this, the last big thing we could probably do right now is just clean these up and put something more there. Would you like to do that real quick?
Yeah, that'll be amazing.
Great. Let's fucking do it. So we're going to go to links, which Nick so kindly showed me where they were. And then let's go ahead and delete. We'll just delete this one. I'll delete this one.
Delete that one too.
Sorry?
Delete that one too, because it's a tab, right?
All right, great. So what's one of the big things? Is it a website, an upsell?
There's no upsell because this is high ticket already at 7.5K. The goal is to have a back end by the end of the year on a 25, 30K price point. I want to prove some concepts with the 7.5K price point first. So at the moment, the upsell is to the studio, which is electric-brands.com. But again, if anything, that's just going to be, I mean, the sell on that could be work with me one-on-one, and that would just take you to.
You have testimonials there?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
Yeah, it's electric-brands.com.
And you can make this public since it's just showing your website so people can
Yeah.
see around. So it's good to have that there. Plus, you're going to see your SEO ranking go up significantly, probably in the next 30 days or so.
Awesome.
Maybe even 2 weeks because of the ranking system that school has.
Amazing.
So this is great. We'll do a little lightning. Electric brands. Let's do see, for example. Is this the website?
Yep.
Oh, I guess I had to do the full. Stupid. Great. Look at how clean that is.
Sick.
And it works.
Awesome, dude. Thank you.
You're very welcome, man.
I'm super grateful for you doing this, Goose. Thanks so much, man.
You got it, dude. Absolutely. In fact, dude, did you make this on, is this on Framer?
No, it's on Webflow.
Oh, Webflow. Webflow is also a really good one. Nice work. I love that. Yeah, you've seen the Captivate one, right?
No.
Check it out. So this is our website. And because I used to be a web designer, so I was like
No way.
super into this shit.
Sick. So you do this yourself, or you outsource this to somebody else?
No, I build these.
Love it.
Yeah, and then and I love like animations and little shit like that. I'm all into it.
Killer.
Yeah, these things are like some of the best. And then also at the bottom, there's like little interactables that you have.
That's sick.
Yeah, this kind of stuff. I got super hyped on it. But these are, I don't really do these things anymore. It's more for fun. But
Dude, you know web design, dude. This
But-
is I grew up in print design, and the knowing the code that's gone into this is just making my brain want to explode. So
dude, it took like a month and a half.
if the community thing doesn't work out, I'm sure you can get work as a web designer, dude.
I think I'm done with doing that stuff for now. But I still will do like one every now and then because it's a creative
Sick.
challenge, stuff like that. But
Killer.
yeah, so there you go. That to me feels like it should be enough. Like I took you through maybe a little bit more than healthy at that point because there's so many things that we kind of like that you'll look back at the community with like a lot of fresh eyes on it. So, digest it for a little while and then get back to me and let me know.
I've got pages of notes here, so thank you so much, dude. I'm going to action all these in the next couple of days, actually today.
Beautiful. Okay. Yeah, it's funny because a lot of the questions you were going through were very similar to what the AGM Smart team have.
No way.
And yeah, I mean, you guys both come from like the same cloth, basically.
Yeah, for sure. That's epic.
And so a lot of the changes were very similar. So you're probably going to see pretty similar results because like their engagement now has been like amazing.
Yeah, wow. Awesome, man. Thank you so much, dude. How can I repay the favor?
Give me feedback. Go through the community and see what other of these things are helpful. If someone around here is struggling with the same thing you got, just like let them know what the fix is.
Awesome. And if I can help any of you with brand, let me know. I'm a brand nerd. So if you need any help or advice there, shout out.
Yeah. Oh, did you make an intro post yet today? Or yet ever?
No, not in your community. I haven't. No.
Yeah, go ahead and
No.
do that. I'm sure people would love to see some of your work there because like he kind of undersold what he's done. He's built all kinds of businesses in the last one. It was a brewery, wasn't it, that you made?
It was a non-alcoholic beer company. We just got in the right time, and we got a $58 million valuation within 3 years, and a bunch of rock star investors, and it's kind of gone north from that. But I left there a year and a half ago. I'm still an equity holder, owner, but I'm not involved in the operations, which is great because got other people doing all that horrible work of fast growth startups. Feel really fun until you're running them, and then you just want to jump off a bridge. So
That's right.
I'm happy.
They are quite laborious. That's right. So yeah. I think it would be cool to hear a little piece about that story. So yeah.
Awesome. Thank you, dude.
You're very welcome, man. Does anyone else have any questions? Otherwise, it looks like we hit the mark even a little bit early.
We nailed it. Let's wrap. Give everyone some time back.
Yeah, hell yeah. Cool, dudes. All right, so everyone's feeling good. Rice, Jazz, you guys don't have anything? Solid. All right. Love you, dudes. I'll be back. I'll put out an announcement tomorrow for the process for the Odyssey. I still got to figure that out. That'll happen day after tomorrow. But make a post or something if there's any ideas that you guys have. Otherwise, I'll see you all day after tomorrow.
Legend. Thanks,
Cool.
Goose. Thanks, everyone. Nice to
Thank
meet you all.
See you guys.
Good hanging with you. Later.